speaking in front of a crowd. Typically, this experience for us is high school or college. It doesn't go further than that. We have an assignment. We have to work on the stupid fucking assignment. We have to do research. We have to stress out. We're doing it last minute. We're crunching, and now all of a sudden there's a presentation. Holy God, have mercy on me and you. We've been there, and I know that. I know it's so universal. There are only 1 or 2 or 3 people I've ever met that claim to just be born with it in terms of public speaking. I'm not one of those people. In fact, myself, I didn't even start speaking words until I was 3 years old, which is very late. I didn't really speak words by choice until I was about 14, 15 years old, when I joined an organization that I'm going to be showing and sharing with you in this video. This is an organization that basically is a safe space for young people to come and talk about whatever you want. And this organization has to outreach to other youth in order to get people to join. I actually didn't pursue higher education after high school. I decided to be a bum and just twiddle my thumbs. But this organization, they saw something in me that they liked, and I appreciate that because at the time I was just, finishing high school, 17. I was only beginning to learn how to be louder and take up space and entertain an audience. I was only learning. And they saw that this little kid of theirs isn't going to school, so they decided to employ me in public speaking gigs. So around the age of 17 to 18, I would go once a week to go speak on behalf of this organization, to do outreaches, either to get more youth to come, to educate audiences that are university students who want to learn more about youth and how youth operate and youth culture, or to benefactors, people in suits. So I've spoken to, as a young person, various audiences. All right, so if you are watching this video, it's because you want to be an effective communicator. You want to be effective, you want to get your message across, but you also don't want to comply to being a suit who's just going to say some jargon, entrepreneur. No, I get it. I don't want to do that either. I'm also going to be showing 2 examples of footage I happen to have of when I was speaking on behalf of this organization. It's called Love, by the way. So when you hear me talk about love, that is what I'm talking about. Now, if you're watching me because you saw my video of Feminist Reveals Shocking Truth of Pickup Artist Seminar, I just want to say that when I was 18 years old, it was my dream to speak in an audience of 10,000 people. That was like my life goal. Maybe it still is. And I thought, I don't know if I want to speak to an audience of 10,000 people because that's a lot, and that would make me feel like a fucking dictator if 10,000 people are actually listening to me. But then I realized, there's YouTube. Right now, I just passed 100,000. I never expected to hit past 100,000, and it's nuts. And I get a lot of comments, a lot of positive comments, like, wow, you're really good at speaking. Or I got the comments that say, hey, I hope RSD paid you a shit ton of money for this spammy commercial, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't a commercial. But I'm flattered because if you think that I'm someone who was hired under the radar to speak on behalf of that organization, then that would mean I must have something to back me up. That would mean that I'm a good communicator, because why else would you think I'm making money? Maybe because I know how to speak. So let's crack into the very first video. This is me when I'm 19 years old, okay? I'm speaking on a national news television thing, CBC, with a microphone, with a bunch of people. You don't know this, but a bunch of people watching me behind the camera. It's very awkward. It's very raw, it's very real, it's very me, and it's very vulnerable that I'm sharing this. So watch this video of me being 19 and speaking on behalf of the Love organization. And after that, we're gonna crack into a more recent speaking engagement I did. Check it out.
Hello, I'm Spencer O'Gallagher. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Project Love, which is an organization, nonprofit in Montreal, which is made up of youth. And youth who take part in a lot of photography projects and making any visual arts. It's a media arts program for youth to express themselves in this community. So, us Love Youth have collaborated with Dominique Pétrin in Pop Montreal to create this awesome mural behind me pertaining to the theme technology versus reality. And being a group of teenagers in this project, the way we came up with this was basically in our brainstorming process, we were all in a room and we all had something in common. We are completely addicted to our phones. So thus we have our wall of technology versus reality. Tell me if you want more.
So you see in that video, I'm 19, I'm a little bit pissed off. I'm actually a little bit pissed off that I have to do what I'm doing. That's because in that group I was in, I was voted as the one who should speak in front of the camera. I was really shy, you could see that. I was pretty uncomfortable, and at the end I had a really awkward ending because I was eager to get out. So I was like, I'm done. And I thought they would edit cut, but then they got me going, anything else? It's okay, it's cute. That's me, 19, that's fine. I think it's really cute. I was chubby and 19. Now my next video is actually something of me doing it recently. I have not spoken in front of a crowd, apart from YouTube videos, I have not spoken in front of a crowd in 2 years. Now I'm gonna show you the raw and real 2-year hiatus of not public speaking, and then all of a sudden going into an 80-person audience in a university, so a classroom of people about my age, between the ages of 20 to probably 28, listening to me in an auditorium where the audience is a landscape up above me like this, like an incline, okay? Now, this is with my mentor, my original mentor from this organization. I'm speaking on behalf of the same organization, but my message has changed. And now that's gonna be a really important point as to what makes good public speaking, what your message is and how you feel about your message. This is me going into it last minute. Frank, my mentor, asked me last minute to go in front of the audience. I was just going to sit in on his speech. So I would go in front of the audience and just ramble about whatever it was on behalf of this organization that is no longer really my organization. So you'll see how I twist it in order to make myself more comfortable with the message. Otherwise, had I done my usual, I'm here and I'm speaking on behalf of the blah, 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 it wouldn't have been as authentic. Instead, I twisted it and I said, you know what? Fuck that message. I'm gonna come here as someone who used to be a part of this organization and what my ending thoughts are on the organization, and as someone who hasn't been in front of an audience. And you will see proof of me being a little bit uncomfortable doing things like repeating myself, talking quickly at certain moments, kind of a little bit jittery and uncomfortable, but still I was definitely nervous. You could see that. I still did it, and one of my tips that allowed me to do it is simply thinking, I'm the one up here speaking. All these people are listening to me. Most people here would not want to trade spots with me, so I'll just do it to show them that it can be done. Okay, so here's the second video of me speaking. This was a couple of months ago. No recent experience. Check this one out.
Embarrass somebody really quick, because there's a student here who actually has been through that with me, and you might have seen her in the video, but her name is Spencer. Come on up real quick. Give her a hand, please. Okay, so Spencer was in a love group many years ago with me,
Yeah.
and she didn't, for 2 years, did not talk at all, not at all. She used to draw, and she used to be in there and listen. And so, tell them how your experience was since then.
Well, I haven't done what I'm doing right now with Frank in a couple of years, and I normally have this like protocol of what I like to tell an audience, but instead I'm coming to you guys today as like a 21 going on 22-year-old adult. So love is of my past. But I will say, as sort of like an adult example, something sort of special. Does anyone here, show of hands, ride the metro? Yes? Okay, when you are in that setting, in this metro cart, do you ever get that second, that feeling of anguish, looking around at all these people that we could be connecting with, but instead we're, like you have my phone, we're on our phones, or we're just like in a book, which is more productive, we're stressed out, and we're holding on to our days. And it's anguish. You look at someone and maybe you just want to make eye contact for 2 seconds and feel that human connection. Do we ever feel that? That's nice, that's reassuring. So what's beautiful about love when I was joining as a 14-year-old is that, I mean, as a 14-year-old, that's maybe the times when you need community the most. I was placed into this space with Frank, my mentor, my coordinator, and it was sort of like being in a room with people in my high school who I would have never spoken to, who fully intimidated me, and it's the equivalent of being in that metro cart now as adults. And instead of just ignoring each other and being strangers and judging one another, it's an opportunity to sit around and actually hear people and empathize and feel them and understand that everyone has a story. We can listen to them and we could love them. We could give them that space and have ourselves be heard as well. And it's so beautiful and special. And we definitely don't get that opportunity adult. So now, in retrospect, I feel like eternally grateful because as a 14-year-old, Frank managed to get me to push out of my comfort zone, be able to speak here with all of you, which is terrifying, by the way, and actually feel like I could connect with people. So love for me is done. I'm not a youth. I'm way too old to be a youth. I wish I could be a youth because it's amazing. But instead, I get to go about my life with the tools that it gave me as a teenager, as an awful teenager, and I get to take it into adulthood and think like, I'm going to look one stranger in the eyes today, and I'm going to smile, and I'm going to, you know, if I get a smile back, then that's beautiful. That's a successful day. And that's something that love has given me and I hope to carry into my adulthood.
Good job.
Thank you.
I mean, really, thank you.
The jackets come off because it's spring and it's getting hot. I'm really happy about that. So I hope you enjoyed that second video of me being 21 just a couple of months ago and doing that last minute speech. And I really hope you see the distinction of me being 19, being very uncomfortable on national news on television with a group of people watching me kind of being like, I don't really want to do this, but I'm doing this for you. And then me being 21 and deciding, you know what? I'm going to take this crowd as I want to take this crowd. I'm going to share the message that I want to share. All right, because I've had my differences with this organization and I'm not going to speak their mumbo jumbo jargon, and I'm going to say mad respect to this organization, but here's what I have to say. I'm just a person and here are my thoughts. Now, that pretty much cracks into the total message of what my public speaking advice is, and that would be authenticity.
I'm alone in the room! I'm alone
What do you mean you're alone?
I'm alone!
Oh no. Something I would do a lot when I was growing up as a public speaker, so between the ages of 17 to 18, 19, I got a little bit better, was I would overcompensate with body language, vocal tonality, all of the gimmicky things on the outside of the package in order to make up for my lack of understanding a message or embodying my truth or just embodying my nerves, which is also an aspect of my truth. In fact, I would go into engagements, I'll share a picture right now of me when I'm 18 years old, sizing up an audience of a 30-person audience of professors, where I stood in that moment and I looked everyone in the eyes, each and every single person, because I felt like they were bullies and I had to front myself. I was nervous and over-caffeinated. I was using caffeine to help fuel me. That was a big no-no, because even afterwards, as much as I got a bunch of positive reinforcement, you're a good speaker, you're so young, how do you do it? I also got someone who came up and this never ever left me. They said, I saw you sizing up the audience, and I thought, fuck, I guess I'm not foolproof. I guess they can see through my bulletproof vest of overcompensating for my lack of security. That's okay, because I continue to learn from it.
Why I ever got interested in the whole game concept as like a wacky chick is just, I want to know how the fuck to project myself. Jeff has actually given a language to something that I think everyone in the game has been trying to achieve for so long.
It's a scary feeling when you realize that people can see through your fronts and you realize that you're not actually bulletproof. Because when you're feeling insecure and unsure of who you are and you're not believing in yourself, you're lacking conviction, ultimately you're just really not cool with yourself. What immediately you think is the cool thing to do, whether you're intending to do it or not, is to put on a front. So like I said, that's where I found myself often, is putting on a front or overcompensating with my vocal tonality or my body language, all these really premeditated things that I research as to what mechanically makes a good speaker, a great speaker. Well, in theory, a great speaker. However, in practice, I see this in my Toastmaster meetings and anywhere where I see public speakers. They could technically be the most outstanding speaker. But in terms of them aligning with their message, with their truth, just with their own energy, their own conviction, it's totally out of balance and it is clear as day. It is the weirdest thing to witness. So when I knew that people could see through my shit, that caused me to put on probably more fronts to kind of deal and try to overcompensate, but it's a losing battle. At the end of the day, the reason why sharing my message about public speaking is so close to my fucking heart is because it's the flow state that made me into who I am today. And the reason why that video, Feminist Reveals Shocking Truth About Pickup Artist Seminar, is such a powerful video and has so many views is not just because of the clickbait and the subject matter, but also because if you watch the video, you understand that I am in a very vulnerable position. I'm sharing something that is close to my heart, that is my truth, even though I put myself at risk of being hated by lots of people, which it seems I was in my comments. I don't know how that really works. Is it really hate? It's the internet. I don't know. So this is a state that anyone can achieve. For me, it boils down to living with an intention. Because when I let go of my fronts, whether it's in front of an audience or on social media or just in my socializing and my cold approaching, when I let go of my fronts and I surrender, that's when I step into my strength. That's when I embody myself fully. I embody my fears. I embody all that I am. And in doing that, it's like I'm unstoppable all of a sudden. It's the last thing that you would think would happen when you let go of your insecurities. Not let go, but accept them, which as a paradox causes them to dissipate. It's a really beautiful process. And what I would suggest to you is maybe you don't want to be a public speaker. Maybe not. I suggest that you rethink the benefits of just communication skills within your interpersonal relationships, because that's a big one. But live with intention and authenticity. Live not reaching for goals and not wanting to control everything, reaching outside of yourself, but steadily right here, right now, because this translates everywhere. Once I figured this out, that's when public speaking got better. It's not that public speaking did that for me, it's I did it for myself. Public speaking got better, my relationships got better, and just my way of going about the world in my days got much, much better because I was closer to who I am. I was embodying my strength, and I was doing that by surrendering to what I perceived within myself as weakness, my insecurities. So that's the best takeaway I could give you. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed seeing sort of the journey of who I am, and I hope that you, as my new subscriber, you understand this person in front of you is not just here. I wasn't just born like this. This is a lot of effort and tears and working really hard to ultimately just fucking let it all go, making me a better version of myself today. Thank you for watching.